Let's get the latest analysis of the situation on the ground in Ukraine. Joining me now is the defence and security analyst, Michael Clarke. Michael, thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at the map and let's look at this area around Kyiv. What do you make of the Russian withdrawal, as it appears to be, from that area?
Yes, I mean, the Russians have said that it's a strategic withdrawal, but it's a defeat by any other name. They can't disguise that fact. They've pulled out of northwest and northeast Kyiv. They've gone back to the Belarusian border. The Ukrainians have driven them out, but also moved into the areas they've vacated. The Ukrainians are even at Pripyat. We were looking at a big pontoon bridge before the invasion started at Pripyat, and that's now back in Ukrainian hands. And I was looking earlier on this morning at all of the equipment that had been lost. The latest figures show that the Russians seem to have lost about 3 or 4 times the amount of equipment of the Ukrainians. So they are defeated in Kyiv for the time being. That's pretty clear.
But if we move further eastwards and have a look at the situation there, the area around the Donbas, of course, this is the area where the invasion first started. Can we expect Russian forces from the areas we've been talking about to now redeploy down here?
Yes, I mean, the forces that have pulled out of Kyiv, that area, have gone back to Belarus to re-equip and recover, which they certainly need. But more forces that are being formed, another 10 battalion tactical groups, it seems, will be going to the southeast. And the area of the Donbas, which is the black-edged area there, is the area now being fought over, as you've just put the symbol around it. The Russians occupied about a third of that Donbas region before the war. They now occupy about half of it. It looks as if they'll try to take the whole of the Donbas region and consolidate this land bridge through to Crimea. But it'll be pretty tough for them because the best of the Ukrainian forces are down there. They've been dug in for 8 years. They're well dug in. And the weather, I've been looking at the weather this morning in Ukraine. The weather is warming up quite dramatically this week. By the end of the week, it will be around 20 degrees and rain. The ground is getting softer as the spring comes on. And if the Russians think they're going to move their armoured forces around in a quick battle of manoeuvre in the southeast, they'll find that quite difficult because the ground is getting soft.
And what about the situation further down near where you are, down there in Odessa? Russian advances still on there and still trying to attack Odessa?
Yes, the Russians have hit a number of targets around Odessa, mainly oil storage facilities. That's a sensible military objective because the oil storage around Odessa, a very important port, was feeding Ukrainian armies, Ukrainian forces elsewhere. So to try and block off the oil storage and oil supply makes perfect military sense. But also the Russians seem to be trying to harm the infrastructure of Ukraine because part of the objective is to damage Ukraine as much as possible as this war goes on. And I think what we've seen in Odessa is not an attempt really to invade Odessa, which we thought would be on the cards a couple of weeks ago, but just to hurt it.